Bronwyn has been not talking about her, not trying to get involved. She's not saying stuff about John. She's not saying stuff about Lisa's kids. She's not putting stuff out into the press. Lisa's talking about them, and Lisa's trying to get bad stories out there. She's trying to get conversations to happen on camera that,
and so are they. They do the exact same thing. What did Bronwyn do after Angie told her something? She walked up to Britani and say, Angie just told me this about you. Bronwyn does that shit all the time.
But not in the same way. Like, I don't think that she has the same, I genuinely don't think that she's doing it with the same intentions. I don't think she's like, you would not believe to do.
Bullshit.
Do you think Bronwyn's not saying, I saw your husband doing X, Y, Z? Actually, that's not true. She did. She was like, you're right. No, I'm backtracking. You're 100% right, because she did. She was like, I saw Seth out to dinner. So you're right. That's fair. She is. I just don't like how excited about it.
Who cares? It's Lisa's personality.
Listener discretion advised. Adult language and mature content.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Two Queens, One Screen. I'm Jen.
I'm Keeley.
And Keeley and I chat before we record. We don't talk about what we're about to talk about while we're recording, but we just do it as like our weekly catch up. And somehow this catch up was, an hour and 45 minutes?
Oops.
And it started out with me going, I have so much good news. Let me tell you all this good news. And then it unraveled because it turns out I didn't have all good news. And also the world is on fire and we're both freaking out. And it's just, how are we managing to be ourselves?
Yeah.
Watch these shows, right?
Yes, right.
Do our jobs. Be parents. Be wives. Be workers. Did I ever see you do our jobs? I'm also working out and on a diet right now. Why? I'm working on myself. I'm doing all the extra shit for my kids. We're healing our husband's childhood traumas. And then the world's on fire and we're still maintaining.
Yeah. Why is it our responsibility for all of that shit? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how we're doing it. And yeah, so I just want to say to everyone, just fucking, what is it? The English version? Keep calm and carry on.
Yeah.
Is kind of like what we're doing, right?
Yes. But I was going to tell you that when you were telling me that, I thought that this would be a perfect segue into the two things that happened to me this week that are kind of comical and kind of go with that. Okay. So the first thing is I had my annual eye exam because I wear contacts and my vision is horrible. So every year I go and have my annual eye exam and he tells me how terrible my eyes have gotten and we give new prescription for new contacts and everything is great. I really like this doctor. I've been seeing him for forever, probably 20 plus years since I started at my job. And so he has this new test. It was a VR test. So I put on VR glasses and there was, this object in the glasses that I just had to follow with my eyes, right? And it was measuring different things. And so it wasn't very long, maybe a 5-minute test, and didn't quite understand what it was measuring. But like I said, it just had me follow these images on the screen with other images in the background. And so then during my exam, right, we go over my contacts and he wants to up the power in one of my eyes, which is fine. And he says, and by the way, obviously we did that new VR test for your eyes. And I said, yeah. And he goes, I just want to explain a little bit. And I said, okay. He said, well, we were measuring the strength of the muscles in your eyes. And I said, oh, okay, great. He said, because, as you get older, right, your muscles weaken just like any part of your body.
Fair.
Right? I'm thinking, okay. And he said, so we had you on the VR, follow the object. We were determining if the muscles in your eyes were becoming weaker or they were seemed strong enough, right? I guess for your age or right what they should be. And he kind of paused and I was like, oh, what do you mean? And he says, well, nothing to be alarmed at. And I'm like, you can't.
That's a terrible opening statement. Sure.
Start with that, but okay. And he says, well, like I said, the strength of your muscles. And he goes, one of your eyes is a little bit weaker. And so you're supposed to be, both your eyes are supposed to follow, say, the image to the right or to the left, up or down. And one of your eyes was kind of doing something else. It wasn't following it correctly and it was going off all over the place. And I said, are you shitting me that I can develop a lazy eye now or go cross-eyed? Are you fucking nuts? And he was like, well, we're not at that point yet.
It's just soon.
It's just fucking soon. And I was just like, God damn it. And he goes, well, it's really not that bad, but I just wanted to tell you that one of your eyes might be a little weaker. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, is it going this way? Is it going that way?
You're like, I need to see how bad this is.
My God. And he was like, let's just not talk about it. I will tell you when it gets bad. And I'm like, oh my God.
There's just that in the back of your mind forever now.
Right. And so I'm like, okay, what else? What the fuck else? And so then I tell Steve and, now we have a running lazy eye joke in my house. Anyway, so he thought that was funny. And then I had a massage also this week where love massage. And so I'm telling the massage therapist, I go to a chiropractor every month and my ribs come out. And, on the regular, I should probably see a chiropractor almost every day. And I said, so if you're back there and you feel something, just make sure it's not a rib and it's, a muscle. I'm not trying to tell you how to do your job, but there's just it's just messy in there. I said, I've been adjusted and we should be good to go. I said, but, my left side's a little tender. And my chiropractor said, she felt around on my back and said, I think it's muscle. Right. We adjusted that rib. We popped it back in. You're doing good. Just let your massage therapist know. So I'm telling her that. And she's like, oh, great. Perfect. Good information. So I start on my stomach. So I'm laying face down. And she's immediately on my back and shoulder blades and my upper back. Fucking not 5 minutes in. She says, do you have problems lifting your left shoulder? And I said, I 1000% do. I said, I have a frozen shoulder. I can't lift it. I have mobility issues with it. And she goes, mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, Christ. And so she's doing her thing again. And she says, I just want to stop for a minute. And I was like, oh, Christ. No, please, God, no. What now? And she said, have you been diagnosed with a connective tissue disorder? And I said, you mean like Ehlers-Danlos? And she said, yes, that's the one. And I said, I have tried to be diagnosed with that years ago because years ago, my chiropractor told me, this is not normal. This is what's happening in your body. You need to go get diagnosed by a physician. I'm pretty sure that you have this and with your family history and all your symptoms. And I said, okay. So I tried. I went to a doctor. By the way, it was a male doctor, and he just medically gaslit me, told me I was fat, told me I was old, and told me to go on a diet and said, no, you don't have it. Didn't do any tests, just looked at me and said, you're fat and you're old. Great. So I left, didn't go back and try and get a diagnosis from another doctor. So I told the therapist, my massage therapist, a shorter version of that.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, you have this connective disorder. She goes, I can feel it in your skin. When I touch your skin and I move down and touch your muscle, you feel like gravel. You feel like rice. That's not normal. That is not normal. You're not supposed to feel like that. You're supposed to feel smooth. And she said, you have this connective tissue disorder. You need to go to a specialist. And I said, I don't know where to go. She said, I have another client that has it and they go to Salt Lake. She said, so get a primary physician to give you a referral and you need to go to Salt Lake. And she said, there's no cure for it, but they will manage your pain and manage your joint inflammation and your arthritis. And I wanted to sit up naked and all and hold this woman and start bawling because I've never met her before. I've never had a massage by her before. She can't be more than 23 years old. And she
Holy shit.
knew more about my body by touching me for
doctor.
for 5 minutes. I mean, she did the massage. She was really kind, really educational and informative. But Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? Like, I can't
100%.
win for fucking losing. So I'm on that journey right now.
Amazing. So it's so interesting that you say that, only because somehow I have ended up on Eller's I'm saying it wrong.
Danlos.
Yes. TikTok. I do not have these symptoms. I
Yeah.
did get my shoulder stuck once, but that's because I have I think it's like a bone spur that I need to get shaved on or something. I don't know. But the common comment that ends up in those videos is that they had the worst time getting diagnosed.
Yeah.
And you have to really go crazy with advocating for yourself, which this is exactly our point.
Yeah.
Who the fuck has the energy with all of the other things that we're doing? Why do we also have to fight for this? Not to mention
for someone to listen to me.
Right.
Yeah.
But the tip that they always mention is when a doctor is dismissive of what you're saying, that you say, can you please note in my chart that I asked you to and that you said no.
Okay.
And that usually they'll backtrack that if it has to, I'd like this noted in my chart.
Yeah.
And for some reason that's does this actually do anything? I don't know. This is information I got off of TikTok. I have not used it in my personal life, and I am not a doctor. I do not work for the healthcare industry. I work in restaurants. I am not, but I've watched it in a TikTok video.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
How long ago was that you thought that you went to the doctor?
It was 6 years ago, and I have had 5 dislocations. I've got horrendous arthritis. I'm in constant pain. I can't move my shoulder, and my ribs constantly pop out. I literally dislocate my ribs.
That was a thing.
Yeah, I dislocate my ribs on the daily. My hips fly out. This massage therapist she is my, I don't know. I was so happy that someone validated how I feel. And like I said, I don't expect to have a cure, but if someone would listen to me and help me with my pain management and the fact that I get dislocations on the regular, I'm double jointed also. And I'm trying to think. Anyway, so there was a lot of, and then just other minor symptoms. I'm tired all the time, no matter what I do, and so there's just a lot of all of those other things that I was looking up, which I presented to this first doctor 6 years ago. He just told me I was fat and old. So anyway, I'm fatter and I'm older, but I'm still in, just by her touching me, she knew I had this connective tissue disorder. And my daughter has a version of it called POTS, where it's cardiac.
Did she get diagnosed?
Yes, she got diagnosed.
It's near impossible to get diagnosed with that, too.
Yeah, she was a teenager. She was 15 or 16. And thank God I was still able to see a pediatric specialist at that point, a cardiologist, and she diagnosed her immediately. My daughter was passing out at work in the middle of just standing there, just would dink, see you later. They were thinking it was narcolepsy or something like that. She faints from just sitting up from being in bed. She faints if she bends over to tie her shoes. The only person in the world that has to have salt, the most sodium a body can have. She is the only person I know of that has to have these thousands of milligrams of salt a day to keep her blood moving right to her brain and her heart, so she doesn't faint and pass out. So that's part of having this connective tissue. That's crazy. So I have all of these things I was telling the therapist about. She's like, just write it down. Be overly
descriptive.
Yeah, descriptive. And just so you have all of these things for the doctor. Not that a specialist isn't going to believe you because this is what they do, just to have it still.
Just to get the referrals sometimes is such a pain.
Oh my gosh. But I know it's not really funny, but it is funny that I had that second thing happen. I'm just like, my eyes going to the side and this connective tissue thing I got to figure out.
You've been through a lot this week, Mad Eye Movie. Like, it was
right. Fuck, right.
Oh my gosh. How fun is it when you get a new contact and it's like gigantic and then you get like a little one that's like buzzing? You're about 3 years away from that.
God.
Holy shit.
Anyway.
Maybe that's why one of your eyes is wobbling because the tissues aren't sitting like they're supposed to. Oh my God.
Anyways.
I hope you'll be in Salt Lake. If you go to Salt Lake, I'll come visit.
Awesome. So yeah, I looked up the doctors. There's a couple in Salt Lake. So I just need to get a referral from somebody that would even have the time for me to just write that to go down there. So we'll see.
Oh, see, I was going to get massages. I canceled my subscription, but I was going, and one time I had gotten a new girl, and I usually was getting women that were in like their 50s or 60s doing it.
Wow.
And then I got this woman who was like early 20s, early 20s. And you start on your front, and then I flipped over, and then she was like doing my shoulder, and then she literally went, huh! Because I have a broken collarbone that healed funny, and so it has like a nub that sticks out, and I just freaked her out with that. And I was like, "Did you just have like a rib sticking out?" No, it was different. She's like diagnosing you. That's
in this
wild.
massage. Granted, I haven't had one for probably a year, but this massage was diabolical in how much it hurt. Not that she had too much pressure or was being forceful or doing something I didn't want her to do, but I have so many problems under there that and so many knots and things like that, probably stress from other things I'm dealing with, but that it hurt so bad. I was almost in tears quite a bit of the time. And she just apologized over and over again. She's like, I know this has to hurt, but I really got to get through the gravel and get to it. And that having my skin be described as gravel does not make me feel great, but her having to work through that had not probably been fun for her. But but blessed be her. Yeah.
That's wild.
Anyway.
Well, I'm glad and also sorry.
Yeah, I get you. That's all right.
That's crazy. So what all are we talking about this week? We're
going to do Beverly Hills, Traders, and Salt Lake. Do you want to do that?
I didn't watch Beverly Hills, so you're going to have to give me a Beverly Hills story time because I didn't watch it. I wanted to. I made a shirt this weekend.
I know you did. Look at you.
I really haven't watched that much TV. I didn't watch Traders until today. I didn't watch when Real Housewives Salt Lake was today too.
Yeah.
I've just been working on other things, trying to not be on my phone. So, and keeping my hands busy and that kind of thing. So, all right. So let's start with reunion, because the whole thing is wild. I felt like this episode was better than the last episode, but still very intense. And I don't know that I've changed my mind on anything. I feel like
we're going to fight.
We're probably going to fight. I have a few overarching questions that I just want to throw out there.
Okay.
And then we'll kind of address these questions as we kind of go through things.
All right.
Who of these women would you actually want to be close friends with? You don't have to answer now, but
Well, I'm still going to stick with Lisa and Meredith. I would still be close friends with them. I'm still going to go there.
Don't feel like I could be close friends with them because I feel like for me, my personal opinion is I feel like there's this undercurrent of they genuinely feel superior to everyone.
So do you, bitch.
Me?
You do. Yes, you do.
Only the people that I'm definitely better than. No, but I'm an Aries.
Excuse you.
I couldn't. I think I'm great. I don't think I'm better.
You can't be friends with them because you are identical to them.
Maybe.
Hello.
Maybe.
Hi.
I think Angie is the only person I'd want to be friends with, like in real life. I think it would be fun to hang out with all of them in different circumstances. I think they would all be fun in different circumstances. But like, I don't think I could actually be friends with any of them except for Angie, which is so weird because I hated Angie last year. I think she's come around and gotten herself more together this year overall. But I think, listen, none of this show would be fun if none of these people were divisive and controversial.
No,
right?
I get that.
They have to be flawed
Right.
in serious ways to even be on this show. So I
Yep.
get that.
Yep.
But I don't know. I'm struggling a lot with, like, I would be friends with Kyle Richards. I would be friends with Dorit. I would be friends. Oh my God, I would love to hang out with Kathy Hilton. You know,
I would
like,
love to hang out with Erica. I think Erica would be really
I would
fun.
love to hang out with Erica Jane. Garcelle, I think, would be fun. Jennifer Tilly is my number one. Right?
Yes, 100%.
New York, there were people that I like loved. And this show, this season specifically, this season has just, these women have just torn each other down to this point that they are all playing in the mud. Like, they are in the mud so hard that, like, it's gross to me at this point. All right. My other two questions is, one, and this is just going to be constant, is this all a conspiracy? And it's either a conspiracy by Lisa and Meredith, or it's a conspiracy by Heather, Whitney, and possibly Angie that they've, like, really drummed up. I know that you think it's, I think everyone is doing it. I think everyone is doing it to different levels. Like, I think Meredith is doing it worse than Lisa's doing it. I think Heather's doing it worse than Angie's doing it, but I think they're all in the mud doing it together. But who's doing it the worst?
Heather.
I guess. I think I wouldn't disagree. I think Heather.
Heather.
After this episode, I would say I'm more like Heather knows what the fuck's going on. Then my last question is this show going to be able to survive? Like, other than, like, a serious reset of either the cast or everyone, like, actually saying clean slate will move forward, which I don't think anyone is capable of. Case in point, this reunion. I don't know if this show can survive, is what I'm wondering.
Well, I have a couple of things. So like you said last week, which I thought was wonderfully profound, that Beverly Hills is such a great series because everybody knows where everybody stands with their relationships and within their friendships, right? You have, Kyle is really good friends with Erica, and Dorit and Bose have gotten together. They're really good friends. Sutton's, struggling. Kathy's Kathy. Jennifer Tilly, I wish would be, a permanent on the show and not a friend of. I want to see her all the time. And so they all have those unknown or unwritten, right? Everybody knows that about each other's friendships, right? They sit down all together and say, but you guys are better friends than I am with you. Like, they recognize that. I don't think they weaponize it as much as Salt Lake does.
Yeah.
And it's really easy to watch. It doesn't make you sick. Like, Salt Lake this year is making everybody sick.
Yeah.
And if they do this again, if they come back for season 7, I'm sure that they will, and we have another plain incident with no recording, right? And everybody's doing what they're doing this year, I can't watch it. It's not going to survive because people are not going to put up with it, I don't think.
Yeah.
And second or third, whichever one, I don't know how Lisa and Meredith haven't moved on. They both have moved on. Everybody else keeps attacking them. So I don't know about that statement with nobody has moved on. I think Lisa and Meredith have.
I don't think that Lisa has moved on.
From what?
From, like, for example, with Bronwyn. Like, she's still being recorded talking shit. Like, Lisa's gonna be in the mud. She's gonna continue it. And at this point, everyone is engaging in reactive abuse. I think Meredith isn't. Meredith explains herself with the Britani situation, which I think was the most fascinating part of this reunion, in my opinion, which we'll talk about. But I think that at this point, if you can't move forward, if you can't stop talking shit, and you can't get out of the comments, like, unfortunately, these women, it's the reality TV and then going on to the internet side of it that I think is ruining it. It's the same thing that I said about Love Island. The online aspect of it. Is it better to see these people as full people and see exactly what they're doing? Maybe, but I also...
Beverly Hills doesn't do that.
They don't.
They just don't.
No,
or maybe they
but
have
also,
and I don't remember, but
these women aren't the caliber... I mean,
no, I
this
get
is
that.
shitty.
You're right. This
is shitty, but they're not the caliber of Beverly Hills.
I agree with that statement. You're right.
Angie was talking about how she didn't really have a following, so she was able to see who viewed her stories and to track it that way back, when she first started. So I think that has a lot to do with it. And I think that also, like, here's the other big difference between Salt Lake and Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills, all those women are established outside of the show. I'm not saying that Salt Lake City, these women don't have businesses, don't have careers.
Agreed.
But especially for someone like Heather Gay.
Correct.
Angie, Bronwyn, sure, they had lives, they had wealth, they had some sort of status before the show, but the show has skyrocketed them in a way that they would never have touched without. Lisa has a public face that she would never have had. She has incredible success with everything that she does, right? She's working with the stars at Sundance, all of that. She would not have the public face and the public persona and the notoriety that way that she loves. And good for her, baby gorgeous. But she wouldn't have that without the show. Whereas the women on Beverly Hills, maybe Dorit wouldn't have, but she's like grown into it. And I don't think that half of what's going on in Salt Lake, I mean, look at Reality Von Teese. Half of what's going on there is going on in social media. And that's what's fucking wrecking this for me. And all of that. And that ropes into the very beginning, which is Andy gets the scroll from Angie, which is her scroll is proof that Lisa's been her troll. Well, that's been debunked. You already sent me the thing. I'm going to be 100% honest. I don't know. It was either Whitney or it had to have been Whitney, right?
It was Whitney.
Faked it? It has to be
Whitney.
fake. Because it said Whitney's name on the bottom.
Yeah.
But I do believe, because when I watched that the first time, I was like 100% bought into Lisa's a piece of shit. She's been doing this. Then you sent me the video that explained why that wasn't true. I believe that Heather and Angie believe it because I believed it, and they're less tech savvy, I think, than we are.
Sure.
I think.
Or they're just a bunch of bitches. I think they're a bunch of bitches that won't figure it out.
They're a bunch of bitches, but I think that at least Angie has plausible deniability of seeing that, if that was presented to her, going, yes, that's proof, and believing it. I think she thought that she had valid proof. I think that Whitney tampered with it somehow, and it does make me go, the fuck, Whitney? Why? Like, this, I don't understand why, like, what Whitney has, although Whitney's then tied to Heather, so if she could drum this up and be like, look, I don't know, it's very confusing to me. That whole thing is just very confusing to me.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion now, with more information, I think Whitney set this up. But that seems like a lot of fucking work. And it's like, why would you put in all this work? Because you have no income that isn't going to be tied to this show, so you need to do this, and your biggest nemesis is Lisa. Yeah, so that's wild to me. That part was shocking, I thought.
I love that you're such a good person that you said that's wild to you, where I am a hateful person and I can make a decision and go, I fucking hate Whitney. Of course she did it. I'm not going to go, well.
I just go, why?
Because you're so nice.
But, okay, but it just seems like a lot of work. And you think that Whitney, no offense, Whitney, Because
Yes,
even though
offense.
you're bad,
Yes.
even though she's so bad, I still enjoy watching her on the show. That's a lot of work. I didn't think that's something she's capable of. Not like morally. I mean intellectually. I mean like
Oh my God.
computer savvy.
I believe you just
Like
said that.
that level of thing. That's shitty. Sorry. But don't say that. That's mean. But no, I do feel should we just be impressed that she could do it?
No.
Okay.
No, stop. Stop
Just
giving her
kidding.
excuses.
Just
Stop giving her praises. Stop giving her positive feedback. This is not
No.
positive. Stop
No,
it.
after seeing the video explainer and seeing that she provided a screenshot with her name on it, that was damning evidence as far as I'm concerned. But is that going to be widespread enough to get her off the show?
Get her off the show? Probably not.
I
Get her
don't think
some
so. I don't
hatred.
think they're
Yeah.
gonna.
Sure.
Is it going to be enough that they can? I think the nuance of having to explain that to this audience is going to be too much for the show to like work through. Do you know what I mean?
They have to explain it to people such as yourself.
Yeah.
Because without that video, I still thought it was garbage. I didn't have to have the video to decide Lisa
convinced.
didn't do it. I know. You're convinced
It was
because
like, your
I'm going to
phone
show
number
you
is
the
on it.
sky is blue and you're going to go, yep, even though I'm showing you a picture of a purple sky.
Maybe.
Because I told you it was blue, you're going to be like, yep, that purple sky is blue. Yes, it is. No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and they have a back and forth argument about it. Lisa
Oh my God, yeah.
like, no, not true. And she's showing something on her phone, but they're not really, it's not helpful. Everyone is just screaming over each other to the point that it lasts for way too long and Andy walks off the stage. Have you ever seen Andy walk off a stage before?
No, I haven't, but I still think it was a little performative, obviously.
Oh, it was 100% performative because he didn't really leave.
Yeah, he didn't. I was just going to say, he didn't really leave. And they all pretended to be concerned, but whatever.
Well, I didn't love Heather. Like, we're sorry, Daddy Andy. And then she's like laughing. And I was like,
gross.
Oh God. Like, we need to. This is just another example of Heather is going to do whatever she can to make a joke instead of feeling her real feelings. And that is because she has a lot of religious trauma that she needs to work on.
No,
and I don't see her working on it.
Stop.
Then they bring up Meredith was seeing a guy when she and Seth were broken up, and Lisa brings it up to say that Heather still has photos of on her phone about it, and Heather's like, no, I don't. It didn't make sense. No one cares. Literally no one cares. Like, we already know. Meredith talked about this in like the first couple seasons, what happened with Seth, and that they had like taken time apart and they had both seen other people. Why are we bringing that up? To be fair, Lisa brought that up for some reason, but also Heather brings it up again later. Why? No one cares about this.
Mm-hmm.
Then they go to lunch and baby gorgeous. Okay, so am I Lisa Barlow? Maybe. Because when Meredith comes in and she's like, what do you think? How are we doing? And Meredith's like, yeah, I think you've been doing a great job. And she's getting her hair brushed and she's like, but what part?
Right.
What
That's
part
you.
was I doing a great job?
That's you,
me.
dude. Yes, it is.
I literally wrote which part and then I wrote me too. Like that's me. I do see myself in Lisa Barlow in that way.
Yes, thank you.
Then they come back and we start talking about Mary and talking to Mary about everything.
Ugh.
They do her like recap and then they start talking about Robert Jr. That feels, listen, Mary's awful. We have to set all of the bad parts about Mary aside for a second and look at her just as like what she's doing as like dealing with a mom with a kid in addiction.
Nope. No? I'm
No?
not going to
Okay.
do it. Do you know why I'm not going to do it? Because when Andy said, have you gone to see Robert Jr. in jail? She scoffed and said no. She's too good.
Well, she doesn't like
Nope.
the
Too
smell
good.
of hospital.
Don't
I'm not
care.
saying that this is okay. I was
Yes, you
surprised when
are.
she wasn't going to go too. No, I'm not saying that. I was surprised to hear that she wasn't going, but she talks to him every day. I do think that her saying like he has to be in there, they're not doing whatever they can to get him out as soon as possible.
No, she also said if God gave him this, I can't remember her exact words, put this in front of him and this is what he has to go through, then he's meant to do it. That was really weird and uncomfortable how she said that.
Really? I thought she meant, okay, I interpreted it as he is in jail right now, and he is dealing with the consequences of his actions, and he's going to sit in there, and I know he's safe. I know he's clean, and he needs to go through the consequences of his actions on this. He was on drugs. He's delusional. He's got to deal with the consequences of his actions is how I interpreted it. And that God is going to, by giving him this struggle, he's going to learn from it and get better.
Well, I understood that also a little bit, but how she said it was really uncomfortable to me. And I took a portion of it differently, I guess, is what I mean. So
it's like just because I'm not religious, so
when she said, God let this happen, I think maybe those were the words, God let this happen, and so it's something he's supposed to go through. I don't agree with God let this happen. That is something I felt uncomfortable about it. Like my stomach hurts even saying that.
Okay.
Where I go back to watching that documentary and listening to how horrible she is and remembering she had that woman literally die in her service.
Yeah.
That came off like that kind of Mary. Mary flips in an instant. Mary
100%
is, just for a quick second, Lisa stood up for Mary about the cult documentary. Why are we talking about this? This is old news. And then when Andy talks to Mary about Lisa, she flips and is like, Lisa's dark and I don't like her, and is very negative about Lisa.
She goes back and forth.
Yes.
She's kind with Lisa, and then she's mean with Lisa, and then she's kind.
Shit's scary to me.
She did it to Whitney
on
the couch, where Andy goes, that you believe, the people in your congregation believe that you actually are God.
Yeah.
And she turns to Whitney as an aside and says, you're the one that actually said that.
Right.
And Whitney's done a 180 on this as well. I did. When he was like, do you still think that? And she's like, I think it's so great that she's getting the support that she needs. And I think it's awful that people are coming, it was both Lisa and Whitney have just 180'd. Okay, here, you'll like this. So are they just doing that because Mary right now, when all of that had happened, that was before the documentary came out.
Right.
So at this point, everyone's like, we don't want this documentary.
Right.
Leave Lisa alone, or leave Mary alone.
Right.
So did they do that 180 because they're trying, because of the online support of Mary that they want to be linked into and not linked into the group of people that are fighting against her?
Agree. Sure.
I don't know.
I
think
that.
that sucks. She did bring up that she had been a difficult 18-year-old and that she got kicked out because she wasn't following rules and wasn't listening. So
she admitted that part of the documentary, because everybody's like, oh no, Mary would never. Right.
And she was like, no, I wasn't following rules.
I did do that.
My mom kicked me out. Well, and that was also part of the documentary. Her mom was in the documentary, but it wasn't clear what her situation was with her mom growing up. But her mom is the one that kicked her out. It wasn't her grandma. She wasn't living with her grandmother.
Right.
So I don't know. Then they talk about her mom dying.
Yep.
And
she flipped again and was like, no, I don't care that I didn't make amends with her before dying. That is significant for someone to be have another person so hated that she's just like, no. If you are a God-fearing woman like she claims she is, she would have wanted to talk to her mom on her deathbed and be like, Mom, I love you, go with God. Mary is not like that.
Yeah. No, the way that Mary treats other people is awful. Mary is not, there are times that she's very kind and there's certain people that she's kind to. But even her relationship with Angie. She's close with Angie, but then the second that Angie, insinuates that she farted, she gets a whole talking down. No, she'll dress down verbally anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone. And she feels completely, what is the word?
I don't know.
She feels like it's totally okay for her to do so.
Yeah, that's her right to
entitled.
Do it. Yeah.
She feels entitled to do so.
Yeah.
I will say I am estranged from a parent, and it's been overall, I think we figured out that it had been like 15 years since I'd had like a real relationship with my
But
mom.
you don't
And
put yourself out there like this God-fearing, God will take care of
no, I'm a
everything.
heathen.
Right.
Yeah, no,
You cannot compare yourself at all.
I guess, but I do understand the feeling of like, I've already grieved the relationship. Like, that is like, it is what it is. Now, the God part, I can't identify with. But I can identify with we just didn't have a relationship.
Sure.
It wasn't going to ever be
And
better.
she could have said that, but she didn't. She didn't
was
say
like, no.
that.
Yeah.
She didn't clarify. I didn't like what she said about bringing race into why people are talking about her and the cult and the documentary. I didn't like that. It bothered me a lot. You know why? She has white people in her church. Mm-hmm. What are you talking about that it has to do with a black woman? It's not because you're black, lady. You have white people and other cultures in your
Yeah, I was a little surprised that, I mean, I can see her saying like the Pentecostal nature of her church is very, very different than the Mormon community that makes up a lot of it. But I also feel like in general, at least her grandmother, her church was embraced by the community in a real way.
Yes.
To the point that she became rich off of it.
Yes.
She went from walking to Salt Lake City to owning several businesses, having a portfolio of real estate.
Right.
The jewels,
to provide these services and these resources for the black community. That's why her grandmother went there. Because Utah is predominantly white and there was no black people around significantly. So she went and provided all these services and resources for the black community. And then Mary uses it. I don't like that. Stop.
I was confused by that because we're not seeing it. I don't know. I mean, the documentary at this point, what she's saying, the documentary hadn't come out yet. That's not what the documentary was leaning on.
No.
At all.
No.
So I don't know if she had seen it yet or what, but it was not a
no.
Nope. Granted, I'm also saying that as a white woman, so I'm also not going to say too much. Then they were talking about, somehow it came up about Vita Tequila and how Lisa gave it to the Church of Satan, and the Church of Satan was like, no, we didn't. I'm wondering if Bronwyn brings up the point, listen, there's two. One is a fantastic, political action group. The other one does embrace Satan. So, we don't know which one it is that she gave it to. And Lisa's like, yes, I definitely did. And Meredith was like, I thought you were joking. I thought that was a joke. And Lisa's like, no, I sent 2 cases. And then, so my question is, Jesus, because Whitney says that Jesus would not, what would Jesus do? Jesus would not have given the tequila. And Lisa's like, Jesus would have given the tequila. Would Jesus, you would know better than me. Would Jesus have given the tequila?
No, I don't think so, but you never know. I mean, I don't know, they drank wine when Jesus was around.
I know he turned water into wine.
Right, so maybe
he would have. I don't think Jesus would be, I think Jesus would be like, I don't know why you're concerned about vodka right now. Let's talk about, I'll make sure you're fed. I'll make sure you have what you need. But
wine has antioxidants, better for your body.
That's not our priority right now. I just thought that was such a bizarre, and of course I was like, I don't know. Then we get to the Britani calling Mary the least Christ-like person she had ever met. And she's like, and I said that in the heat of the moment and I meant it in the moment, but I am really sorry because that was not a very Christ-like thing of me to say to you. Those two fighting, it was just like, I don't want either of you to win.
Right.
Both of them can lose.
Yeah.
Don't care for it.
Yeah.
And then she immediately gives an explanation of why she said that, which is like, if you're saying you're sorry, that's the end. You don't get to defend yourself anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't apologize and then defend your actions. You apologize because it's indefensible and you're done.
Yes.
Stop it. So then they go on the tirade about how mean Mary is. And Mary is very mean to Britani.
Yeah.
And Mary says it's just because I'm reacting to you. She's just actively calling out Britani being a fucking dumbass all the time, which I appreciate. But also, it is very mean.
Mm-hmm.
And Britani says, do you ever feel bad for being mean to me? And Mary's like, no, I don't feel bad for you, which isn't very Christ-like. And Mary's mean. Mary's half of why Mary is popular is because she says to their faces, the mean shit. Yeah. And that's not. And you're like, I thought she was supposed to be a woman of God. And she just told Heather that she looks inbred.
Mm-hmm.
I think. And then for some reason, we go back to Lisa and Meredith, and it comes up because Mary had defended Lisa while they were on the boat. And Andy asks the question, do you even remember when she was defending you? And I'm going to be honest, I don't remember when Mary was defending Lisa on the boat. He was like, were you surprised? Were you surprised? And then she's like, and then, do you remember what he's talking about?
Was it? My gosh. No.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can remember. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. I do remember watching it, though.
I remember vaguely, but I don't really remember. So I'm going to be honest. I do think Lisa's lying. I don't think Lisa remembers. I don't blame Lisa for not remembering. I don't remember, and I watched it more recently than Lisa did.
Mm-hmm.
Don't remember that at all. And then it turns into this thing of, like, Mary calling Lisa dark, and how is it, like, how can she forgive Meredith after Meredith? And then they're bringing up the shit about them being in the fight where Lisa was like, you slept with all of New York.
Yes.
Because Lisa does lash out when she gets upset. But so do all of them. That's the whole reason we watch it. And Andy says, it does permeate that fight that you guys had. It was 4 years ago. It took 2 years for you to solve it. But now you're where you're at. But it does permeate everything that you two do together because it was such a massive thing. When that happened and I watched that part, I was like, oh, you can't come back from that. And they have. And then there's other stuff that you're like, why can't you move forward? Because they were closer before that for a long time. I think they're the most legitimate friends of this entire group.
I agree. And I disagree with Andy. I think that it does not permeate my view or my thoughts as a viewer when I look at Lisa and Meredith. I don't remember that. I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Who cares? Why do we care? You know why they care is because they like instigating fires. I truly believe Andy does not like Lisa and Meredith. I believe that. That is my opinion. I'm going to die on that hill. Why would he bring that up? Why would he say, as a viewer, it permeates my thoughts and my opinions just looking at you? No, it doesn't. You don't speak for me, Andy. And I'm sorry that it permeates your view. It's been 5 years. Who cares?
This is kind of what, we're tired of hearing about the fucking plane. As viewers, we're tired of hearing about the plane. We've got to stop bringing up this shit from several seasons ago. It doesn't have anything to do with what's going on now.
No.
It's the same thing where, like, during this, they were bringing up Red Rock Canyon, a picture that Meredith was with a boyfriend. And it's like, yeah, we dealt with that 4 seasons ago. Like, why are we talking about it still? And I think that that's what's, like, it's just plowing its head into the ground and it's coming to a full stop and we're going to be done with this show.
That's all that they have to talk about. That's why they keep bringing it up. But my opinion is Andy, he does not treat Heather that way. He does not treat Whitney that way. He does not treat Britani that way. He treats Lisa and Meredith like shit because he doesn't like them. Full stop,
He's
done.
so much stricter with them and I don't understand why.
Because he doesn't like them. You treat someone differently because you have an opinion about them.
Fair.
That's what's going on.
So speaking of Britani, then we get into this part right here. I have so many tiny little notes. Meredith and Britani having their fight. And the first part is just Britani bringing up that she had seen a TikTok with Seth and another woman. And she has explained this multiple different ways. Britani. And she's like, well, I'm a girl's girl. Bull fucking shit.
No, you're not.
She is the least girl's girl I've ever seen. You're not even a girl mom.
Yep. Nope.
And you have 3 daughters. Like,
yep.
Fuck the fuck off. And she's like, and so I believe on if you have this information that you take it to your friend. But she didn't take it to her friend. She waited until she was pissed off. She's like, I did bring it up the wrong time, but my real intention was to make sure that you knew. And it's like, no, that wasn't your intention. And she's also said in other interviews that wasn't her intention. Right? So, bullshit. Even Heather rolled her eyes when she said that.
Yeah.
Even Heather was like, oh God, that's not what it is.
Yeah.
Then there was the weird dumb call to Seth where Meredith called Seth for proof.
Andy asked Britani about what she said on Watch What Happens Live, that she said she had actual proof of Seth cheating.
Yes.
And that's why Meredith called Seth.
And what's the actual proof? Jared.
Are you fucking kidding me? Shut up.
Hate Jared Osman.
We all hate him.
He worse than Britani.
They're meant to be together. Go have each other. Please leave us alone.
Yeah, no, I don't care what they do. I'm done with them. And then we find out that there's even more shit that Jared's talking. Here's the thing. This is why I'm not Team Lisa 100% of the time. I love Lisa Barlow. A lot of me is Lisa Barlow. Here's the problem, is that she loves to be in the mud. So when they cut to her trying to get Jared, they're doing a flashback to Amy's party, the very beginning. And I don't think they showed this in the show. But she's trying to get Jared to tell a story about Todd trying to take Jared to Dubai to like hook up with women. Jared refuses to have this conversation. Do I believe the conversation happened? Yeah, probably. I don't love how giddy Lisa is to get this information out, make Todd look like shit, make Bronwyn look like shit. People will make themselves look like shit. You don't have to like stir it up, I think, honestly. And that's the same thing that I would say to fucking Whitney. Whitney's even worse because it's at least shit that she's making up. But I didn't like that part of Lisa. Lisa's continued to do that, and that's the thing that I really wish she would stop doing.
But everybody is doing it to Lisa. Why would she not do it back? Bronwyn is doing it to Lisa. Whitney, everybody was attacking Lisa. Why is it?
Because
why is it okay?
Lisa's not stopping. It's been proven.
Neither are they.
Bronwyn's not said anything. Bronwyn has been not talking about her, not trying to get involved. She's not saying stuff about John. She's not saying stuff about Lisa's kids. She's not putting stuff out into the press. Lisa's talking about them, and Lisa's trying to get bad stories out there. She's trying to get conversations to happen on camera that,
And so are they. They do the exact same thing. What did Bronwyn do after Angie told her something? She walked up to Britani and say, Angie just told me this about you. Bronwyn does that shit all the time.
But not in the same way. Like, I don't think that she has the same, I genuinely don't think that she's doing it with the same intentions. I don't think she's like, you would not believe to.
Bullshit.
Do you think Bronwyn's not saying, I saw your husband doing XYZ? Actually, that's not true. She did. She was like, you're right. No, I'm backtracking. You're 100% right, because she did. She was like, I saw Seth out to dinner. So you're right. That's fair. She is. I just don't like how excited about it.
Who cares? It's Lisa's personality. Who gives a fuck? Who cares?
It feels I don't know. I think it's like the like giddiness to hurt in this like very personal way. I don't know. I think the giddiness is what makes me uncomfortable with it. I think if you're like, I don't know. And I just, at least Bronwyn's going person to person. She's not screaming it out at a dinner party. Do you know what I mean? To other people. Dude. She's keeping it within the group at least.
It's the same fucking thing. In the end, it's the same fucking thing.
But that part was uncomfortable to me. Then they're still on Britani, and they bring up the seizure comment. And then Brittany's like, my daughter also had seizures, and seizures are serious, and it was offensive. And then she does a fucking imitation of it.
Oh my God, this impression or imitation was horrific.
She's like, I was triggered. And then she does an impression of it. It was disgusting. Like, that was so uncomfortable. Like, she does not, she does. And then she's like, I said sorry. And she's also like, I didn't say that she had a seizure. It's like, sorry, something weird's happening outside. I was like, no, that was Britani sucks. And then it comes out. Meredith is like, I was surprised that Meredith wasn't, or Meredith was like, I was surprised that Heather wasn't being supportive of me on the boat after she brings up the TikTok. And I confronted you about that. And Heather's like, I did support you. And then you see the video, and Meredith, as they're leaving the table, Meredith's like, how come you're not sticking up for me? This sucks. And Heather goes, I'm just trying to survive. And they said something else, and I couldn't pick up what they were saying.
Yeah,
but it sounded like it's for the show, or it's for the cameras, or something like that. And I was like, ugh, I don't love that. But then that just escalates, and Meredith is like, she's been screeching at me. And apparently screeching is the word that was too much for Heather. And Heather's like, fuck you. We're never friends again after this moment. That was like her threshold. And then she's threatening her. She's like, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Things will never be the same. And I think even Lisa's like, so you're threatening her? And she's like, yeah, I am. It's like, Heather, what the fuck? Why is screeched the word that like set her off?
Well, it's because that Heather and Lisa won't fall into line. They won't do what Heather tells them to do. And so now that they're standing up to her, she's finally saying, now I'm done. We're not friends anymore. I can't fucking handle Heather. There is something wrong with her. You treat people that are supposed to be friends like that. She lies behind their backs. She talks about them behind their backs. She gets things to be put on camera on purpose because she thinks it's funny. And then she has a double standard and expects people to talk about their life when she won't talk about her life. And P.S., there is something wrong with her face and her plastic surgery. What has happened to her chin and her jawline? What is going on?
It all down. She had a bucket face, but she had a very square face. And like, I also kind of do. And it's like she took off an inch of the back of her jaw.
Easily, she has had more done.
It's a little disconcerting.
It's.
And then I think, she's on Ozempic or whatever, the GLP ones. She's on that. And so she's like having to make up for all the things that you lose while you're on those.
I don't know, but they're talking about the plane. And Andy's like, why did not anybody record this? And Heather says, well, Whitney said something to me before we came on camera. Whitney says, I really wish I would have pulled out my camera and filmed the whole thing. And Heather says to herself, what piece of shit would sit around and record their friends and film the whole thing? And basically calls Whitney a piece of shit.
A piece of shit. And Lisa's like, look, she just called Whitney a piece of shit. And Whitney's like, no, she didn't. I was like,
what?
100% she just did.
100% she did.
100%
because Heather thinks she's in control. And Heather thinks she's running the show.
She's made herself the moral authority in it, and it's really surprising. Like it's like she has dug herself into a hole in this. I kind of hope that Heather takes a break from the show and resets. She's got enough things going on. She's writing a book. She's got this docuseries. Again, her Bad Mormonism, whatever it's called, docuseries is really good. It's great. And I think she's doing good work there. I think what she's doing on this show, I think it's bringing all the darkest parts of her, all of her biggest insecurities up to the surface in such an unhealthy way. And I'm going to blame it on her needing to get a storyline. Her career is doing well because of this show. And how is this show doing well? And how does she keep up controversy with all the fucking social media shit and building all the mess in there? And it's just exhausting. And I think that she's I think she's the reason this season sucks so bad.
Yes, she definitely is the reason this season sucks so bad. And P.S., I don't give a fuck about any of those excuses because, like I said last week, I'm
not saying they're
Heather.
excuses, they're explanations.
I don't care.
I'm not saying it makes it
don't
okay.
care. I don't
Okay.
care. I don't
Okay.
care. I have made up my mind. I don't like it. I don't
Okay.
like her. She is
Right.
not the same person she was before. Before she
No.
lost the weight, before she had all this plastic surgery, something happened to her. And I don't care. I'm not going to go back from being a bad Mormon because guess what? I was a Mormon and I'm not a piece of shit like that. I don't treat my friends like that. I don't talk to people like that. And secondly, can I just say, I'm so frustrated that Andy talks about this plane situation like he has no fucking idea what happened or what's going on. Sir, you
Where
are
are
a
the
producer.
producers?
Sir,
There were producers on the plane. They were not. Somebody knew.
You know what's going on. You know what happened. And you sit back and you claim that you have no idea any of this happened. This is all news to you. Oh, poor me, poor me. Somebody just tell me what. Stop it. Stop the fucking lying. I'm tired of Andy gaslighting us basically and saying, no, that's not what's going on. I have no idea what's happening.
This is another thing to Meredith's credit. She's the only one that's like, there's a producer who was on the flight right there.
And then he comes back with, oh, well, she was sitting in a different row of service. Bitch, I don't care. I've sat in a different row of service and I can literally touch you.
Yeah.
I can literally touch you. So he knows that was absolutely ridiculous. And by the end of this entire plane situation, every single person basically agreed that what Meredith did, they all blew out of proportion because they were yelling at her saying, oh, now you remember. Oh, now you remember. Oh, now you remember. She's like, yes, I remember, but that's not what I did. What you're saying is not what I did. It reminded me of a child, right? When you are talking to a child and something happens, like you step towards them or you move and they flinch like you're going to hit them. And then they go around and tell everybody now that you have hit them when all you did was pick up a pen or step to the side or move around them. That's what this cast is like with Meredith in this stupid fucking plane story. They all exaggerated.
Like, so out of control. Yeah.
Right? What happened? There's no reason to record it because nothing like what they have been saying for the last 5 months happened. And if it did, Meredith would be in jail. I've been saying that the entire time.
It's definitely interesting, like, how different my perspective is on it now as far as, like, I think that Whitney has drummed a lot of this up. I think that Heather has drummed a lot of this up. And of course, Britani's going to drum all of this up, right? Like, of course Britani is. Then we get the explanation that I think is super important, where Meredith gives us the backstory of why she extra fucking hates Britani. Like, why would she be, yes, I was reactive to her. You saw me be reactive to her on the boat.
Yes.
And they're like, well, you know, Bronwyn's like, well, people have talked about my marriage and I haven't freaked out. And it's like, okay, there's a reason that I'm freaking out. Okay.
Double
but there's
twin
a reason
standard.
She hasn't, like, totally spun out in the same way that they're accusing Meredith of. And we watched Meredith, like, really freak out on the boat. When everyone else was dismissive of the TikTok and Meredith's like, this is bullshit, she had a big reaction. And the reason is she says it's bigotry. Yes. And Meredith's story, 100% believe that Meredith is deeply hurt by this.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just say it was the nail guy who had done Meredith's nails in her house. And then it comes out that he's like this giant anti-Semite. It's on the news. It's online. This guy reaches out to Britani, and Jared Osmond is like, I'll do your nails for free if you let me do a post. And she goes, okay, great. And then he's like, I've got bad reviews. Can you write me a nice review? And she goes, yes, absolutely. And then according to Britani, she found out about this, reached out to him and was like, this is bad, deleted the post. And Meredith is still very upset at her about this. How could she not have known? She does say, I only saw the one thing, was there more? That sucks. I don't think that Britani is an anti-Semite. I think calling someone racist, I think calling someone an anti-Semite is really bad. It's not as bad as actually being an anti-Semite, but it can ruin someone's career, right? So Britani's spinning out about this. All the way back, but when they went on the camping trip, a producer sat them down, made them have a conversation about it. Britani was immediately very angry and defensive because Meredith is saying you're a bigot because you went and you knew that he did this and you let this happen. Meredith is a Jewish woman. Being a Jewish person is very difficult. It's got to be extra difficult right now in Salt Lake. Sucks, right? That whole thing sucks. I genuinely think that Britani is a fucking idiot. I think that it would have taken 2 extra seconds to double check that this guy isn't a piece of shit. I also think that it fucking sucks that we have to vet everyone before we do anything. And if she didn't, I don't know if she actually knew. If she actually knew, then she's a raging piece of shit. I don't think she knew the full extent of it. I don't think that she owes Meredith an apology if she didn't know. I think if she didn't know and she deleted the post and separated herself from it, I think that's enough. So, but I understand why Meredith would be so up in arms and so offended by the whole thing. So I hate to say it. I think I understand, and I think they're both right in this situation. I usually am like, they're both wrong. I kind of think they're both right in this situation. I think it totally makes sense why Meredith doesn't trust her, thinks she's a bigot, doesn't want anything to do with her. And then if she says anything else, it's going to feel 1,000 times worse and she's going to be way more reactive to it. I also think that Britani's a fucking moron and got herself in a bad position to get free nails that like put her in a messy situation. I don't necessarily know or think that she's a bigot. But if she is, then fuck her. But also fuck her before she's a bigot and extra if she is. I don't know. That's where I'm at with that. What do you think?
I don't know that we will ever know when or if Britani is telling the truth. So
I believe that.
Also, I have a hard time excusing people's behavior or explaining it, like you like to say. Explaining people's behavior when they're constantly saying, oh, I'm just so stupid. I'm just so stupid. I just didn't know. I'm just so stupid. I'm sorry, this day and age, if someone says, I've gotten bad reviews, I'm going to go, okay, why? What are your reviews?
Yeah,
why?
like why didn't she look into
Britani
why?
is not that stupid that she couldn't go, why? Why do you have bad reviews? So I agree with you that they're both right, but I don't like giving Britani's explanation that she's just dumb, so she's going to do stupid stuff all the time.
Well,
Meredith,
yeah,
also can anybody in the world, I do it all the time, make up my mind about you and go, I just don't like you. I don't like you.
Great.
And no matter what you do, I just don't like you. And Meredith is absolutely in her right to go, I just don't like her. There's nothing really about her that I can pinpoint. I just don't like her. I think that's what Meredith is doing. She just made up her mind about Britani that she doesn't like her. And this aggravated and triggered that. And so she's kind of using it as this is why, which is fine. It's a concrete thing.
Anything that's going to back up the dislike that she already had. I think that's valid. Right. I think that's valid and fair.
Right.
But I'm not particularly like, you were a fucking asshole in this situation. Like, I think it makes sense that, again, I think it makes sense that Meredith's upset. I think that it is probably terrifying. No matter what, if she is or if she isn't, that is going to put Britani on her toes for the rest of forever because everyone's like waiting to see. Right. Everyone's going to be waiting to see. Is she going to slip up? Is she going to say something stupid? Sure. And the second that she does, then she's fucked. And so I think it makes sense for her to be freaked out. I think it's good for her to be freaked out. I don't know. I think that all of us should be a little bit more thoughtful about the words that we use and think about the choices and the biases that we have. And I don't think she does. I think that if she did see it and she was like, oh, that's the one thing, I think she's so unaffected that it doesn't occur to her how really fucking shitty that is.
Right.
So.
I also was really bothered by her overt overreaction to the entire thing, screaming and crying and saying, this is bullshit. I'm tired of being picked on. I'm sorry. What have you bitches been doing to Lisa and Meredith for the last umpteen months? I'm sick of listening to everybody being upset about how everybody else is treating them when you're turning around and you're doing the exact same thing to Lisa and Meredith. This double standard is ridiculous. And it's even worse with Britani, because I found a TikTok
She's awful.
creator that makes these videos and explains certain things. And I found one that explained a victim reversal. And that's exactly what Britani is. Britani is a victim reversal person. It means they turn your pain into their persecution. That is what Britani does to a T, and it's gross and it's disgusting, and I'm tired of watching it. She literally walks off the stage, turns around, and screams back at people and says, "Stop calling me a victim. I'm not a victim." Bitch, no one said anything to you before you turned around and screamed back at them. Everybody was in shock, watching your performative garbage.
Yeah.
And then she walks off and screams and answer when there's no question or nobody posed anything to her. Are you joking? Shut up and sit down.
I think she was a little surprised when no one tried to get her to come back. And I think that's why she turned around. I'm certainly not a Britani apologist. I want her off the show for so many reasons.
Yes.
I don't think she adds anything good.
Nope.
She's the little bit of entertainment that she did provide in the beginning has been overshadowed by all of this fucking garbage that we can't navigate. I can't navigate this. So yeah, I'm done with her. And I just said that.
I know.
But I think we do have one thing that we need to address before we close this out.
God.
And that's...
Don't say it. Don't say
nipple.
it. It is. She still had the nipple out. At one
It
point,
wasn't her nipple.
At one point, they put a microphone on top of it. And at
God.
the other point, they took it off. I'm going to fight with you. You and I can go to our death. It is not a fucking microphone. It is her skin. Look at it. There are parts of it.
It's
Go back.
Shadow.
No, it's not a shadow. It's her fucking skin. No,
okay.
There's one part that you can see they've actually clipped and they put something in her dress up against her boob.
So they did that. They did after to hide the fact that her nipple had been out.
Yes, and then it was gone. So it's halfway through that this thing is on her nipple. I think they just readjusted
her, but I think she's working around too much. I think she shouldn't be in a strapless dress.
Look at the two pictures I sent you. That is skin. There's nothing there. It's her fucking nipple. Her boob is out. I've sent you videos that other people think that too. It's not just me.
And then I watched this last episode. I thought from the beginning, and I still think it's a microphone. So we have
a microphone is a big thing. You can see a microphone.
They have tiny little baby ones.
You can still see it.
A little tiny baby one.
No.
Okay.
There is a part where there is something there, but the rest of it, her goddamn boob is out. Nope. All
right. Well, we're gonna have to agree to disagree.
We will. I'm good with that.
All right. Do you want to do Traders or do you want to do Beverly Hills?
Let's talk Traders. I did not see. I watched all the way up to where they're at the banishment table, and Michael and Colton are going at it, and Michael drops "You've been really good at holding a secret for 29 years." I didn't see the end, so I don't know what happens. I don't know if they decided on banishing someone or they're still arguing. Was the end? Did they banish someone?
They did banish someone.
Okay, well, we can either just talk about our thoughts or we can just go from there. I don't care, but...
So, I do want to go back to... I thought it was a weird choice that they got rid of Monet.
Yeah, I thought that was weird, too.
I thought that was a weird choice. 2, I think that Candace, as a traitor, is terrible at this game.
Yeah.
I think Candace is really bad at it.
She is
She laughed.
Terrible. Yep.
She almost gave herself away by laughing, and thank God Eric with the musical ear misheard.
Yep. Yeah.
Which sucks for, what was her name? Is it Tiffany? Were you devastated when they kicked her off?
I was.
I think she was the smartest person there.
Yeah, I really liked her.
But I think she was too dangerous. I think they needed to get, like,
No, I
I
get
think
that.
if the Faithfuls hadn't gotten rid of her, I think that the traitors would have.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
she's figured that game. She had figured that game out. She was on the wrong track, but like she would have gotten it.
Yeah.
By the way, I also want to say I don't think that there's a way to be a good Faithful. I don't think there's a way to be good at that game.
What do you mean?
I really don't think
You can't be good at that game?
Right. Like, I think traitors, there can be traitors that are good at the game and traitors that are bad at the game. Rob, amazing at this game.
Oh, yeah, he's going to win it. Yeah.
Lucking into it. Fully lucking into it. Because she went after Donna.
Yeah.
On a whim. And she accidentally said the right things a couple times, but it's never been on purpose. So
no.
She has stumbled backwards into being safe. Lisa Rinna, I think, is one of those people who's like, it's hard to be good or bad at this game. I don't think it's easy. I think you're either bad at being a faithful, like Colton, like Michael Rappaport. Rappaport or Rappaport?
Yeah. There's a T on the end. Yes.
Rappaport?
Yes.
I think that there's ways to be bad faithfuls and to just start knocking out your fellow faithfuls because you have a strong feeling that turns... And Ron Funches... We got to talk about him in a second. Ron Funches is a bad faithful.
Yes.
Or you're just happening along, right? Like you just happen to be doing okay. Like Tara Lipinski and Johnny.
Right.
Like
or Mark Ballas. Mark hasn't said one word. Like, I think maybe this episode he spoke. You know, it's been...
I don't even remember who he's the Dancing with the
Stars guy. Yeah.
Seriously. Or Steven.
Right. Steven.
My first car I named after him.
Yes. No, agree.
And then I ran it under a semi-truck, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I don't think there's such a thing as like being good at the game as a faithful. That being said, I think Colton sucks, but Colton sucks for 1,000 reasons. Michael Rappaport sucks. Michael Rappaport sucks for 1,000 reasons. Ron Funches sucks at being a faithful. He is pointed in the wrong directions. But he's so great, and he's taking this game so seriously, which totally sucks because he's so funny. He's so charming. He's such a genuinely good person.
Yeah,
and he looks like such a dick.
Yeah, he's playing the game wrong.
He's playing the game seriously.
Yeah, it's wrong.
And he's like, and he said exactly the thing that goes, oh, he's really serious about this. He's really trying. Duran's is like, I don't know about him. He won't talk to us. I don't know about his family.
Yep.
And she calls him out about that. And he has an autistic son.
Yeah.
He talks about amazing. He's such a good dad.
He loses it.
And he's like, I don't talk about my family because I don't want to get to know you because I think it'll make me biased because he takes this game so seriously. And no, like
the wrong way.
You're doing this wrong. This show is not to win. I mean, I'm sure it would be so nice to win this money, but you're probably not going to win the money. Just look at the odds of it. Even if you're good, there's no such thing as a good at this game faithful. You luck into it, or you are a traitor, and then you could be good or bad at this game. So yeah, I'm so bummed that you're not seeing the Ron Funches that I know and love. Because you weren't familiar with him,
No,
right?
I have no idea who he is.
He's so great.
No idea
who he is. I'm so sad about it. And I was talking to Dad about this today, actually, because I just watched it. And I was like, Ron Funches. And he's like, it's so sad. It's so sad that he's like this because he's such a delight. All right. Any other players sticking out to you? Any big feelings that you have?
Let's see. I just have the ones that are just kind of annoying. Like Eric and Kristen just annoy me because they're just kind of there. I mean, they're playing the game. They're talking to people. The singer that I don't from K-pop, that guy Eric, and then Kristen, the chef. I just don't. They're not giving off like something I can relate to or I want to watch. Right?
They're growing on me slowly.
I don't know.
I don't really know either of them, but I do.
Yeah.
I mean, I love watching him be devastated. That he was like, I heard you laugh. And then he's like, oh my God.
Right.
Got a musical ear. And like, you just see his whole like self-identity crumble. And you're like, oh no, you poor little thing. He's just a little guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fun. Kristen, I think, is starting to really play the game and she's wrong. And that's fun to watch. Like, she's so confident.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know.
And she's just wrong, so I'm enjoying that part of it.
I'm trying to think. I don't know. Maura from Love Island is, I mean, I like her. I love her. You know, I love watching.
So you didn't see the vote.
I didn't see the votes. So I like I said, I turned it off.
I don't know if I want to tell. I don't know if you want me to tell you.
No, tell me, because I'm still going to watch
So
it.
they go around. So it becomes this thing between, I think, Ron and
Michael
Rappaport.
Okay, Ron and Michael is what I thought.
That's who it's down to.
Okay.
Everyone's like, listen, we thought it was Ron. We're sticking with this.
Yeah.
Or they're Michael Rappaport. They're like, you're being a dick, and I don't even care if you're faithful because I just want you out of this house.
Right.
Like, people were like, Johnny Weir, scathing.
Yes.
So Michael Rappaport says the thing to Colton.
Right. About the secret.
I was like, you would know how to keep a secret better than anybody. And I was like, he's just talking out of his ass and he just keeps talking. Did he mean to say that?
I don't think so. I agree.
You're a good liar because you were in the closet. Do you think that's what he meant?
No. He's so stupid. I don't think he meant that. That's how stupid he is.
Dad 100% heard he's calling him out for being gay.
I didn't hear that. I don't think that.
I didn't think that either, but Dad took it that way.
Okay.
Colton took it that way.
Yeah.
Johnny Weir took it that way.
Yeah.
All the women at the table took it that way.
Right.
So, like, he said that and he sunk his fucking ship.
Okay.
Moira? Is it Moira or Mora?
I don't know. One of those.
Don't know. She's gorgeous. We love her.
Yeah.
They go around the table. She's been kind of whatever in this game to me, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's just along for the ride, which is the way Gabby played it. It's the way you play this game.
Yes.
That is the correct way to be a faithful.
Yeah.
They get to her. I think she might have been the last vote.
Oh.
And she was like, you need to learn when to shut the fuck up. I'm tired of fucking hearing you. Michael Rappaport. Queen. I was like.
They kicked him off?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know he was gone. Because usually on social media, it'll tell me, like, I can see a spoiler or something. But I haven't seen that. I didn't know he got kicked off. I
have been very lucky. I avoided it all until I watched it live.
Okay.
And it took my breath away. I don't know if she was the last vote, but she just gave him, like, a few people said, like, we don't even care. Just, like, get the fuck out. Like, I just don't want to hear you. You're too loud. You're obnoxious.
Okay.
And she was just it was succinct. It was like 2 sentences.
Okay.
Like, shut the fuck up. It was great. And
I am not a Michael Rappaport apologist at all, but I think he's too stupid to have meant about the gay thing.
I'm very torn. I'm very torn if that was pointed. Because I feel like you saw the fear of God in his eyes where he was like,
remember
I shouldn't have said that. That's not what I should have said.
Watched that after he said that, and everybody had a strong reaction. I will tell you, I had no idea what was going on. And then somebody mentioned that about Colton coming out of the closet, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's what that means. Like, that's how stupid I am that I didn't pick up on that until they said it.
And I thought that, but I didn't. I was
it.
like, you just put your foot in it. But I thought he was just like, because he was doing the same thing with like conniving, colluding,
like commiserating. And even Rob's like, that's not what that fucking. If the guy without a shirt on in overalls is like correcting your grammar.
Thank you. Sorry. I'm so sorry.
I love Rob.
That was the best. I loved that so much. Stop it right now.
Rob is my favorite on this show, and I thought I was going to hate watch him. I just fully enamored.
I found out he was homeschooled. I didn't know he was homeschooled. Like, it takes a homeschooler to tell somebody that. Like, that is my favorite forever. And ever.
He used to do pranks in Walmart that were real dickish, so I don't love that part of his past. I don't like how he treated our girl on Love Island.
No, never forgive him for that. But again.
But how he's doing on the show is fantastic. And he, like, got land and he put, like, like, storage containers or, like, a mobile home or something and set it up. And he's, like, living like a wild man out in the middle of the woods. Good for him. Love that life for him.
You? Yeah.
Just great. And he's playing this game.
He's gonna win.
You can only be good at this game if you're a traitor.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're either bad at the game or you're just bopping along.
What I would love to happen is Colton and Rob get all the way to the end and Rob just take all of Colton's money. Fuck off, bitch. I'm a
That would be
traitor.
fun.
I'm a
That would be
traitor.
fun.
You suck.
I just kind of want. So apparently, I had seen a video about this that like Colton will not address
Yes.
things that happened in his past, which I guess is your prerogative to say like I won't talk about XYZ, but when you're the person in the wrong in that situation, I think like if you address it and go like, yeah, I was a real shithead and
Yep.
I really learned for that, and I really hope that,
Yep.
I can make amends in some way, right?
Right.
Like you put that out there at least.
Right.
And instead he's like pretending it never happened, but everyone knows about it. And it's like, I don't care for that because I also, you and I think differ on this in a lot of ways. I think that some people are redeemable. I think if he was like, I was struggling with this, I was struggling with that, instead of like working on it, I acted out and I was a real asshole and I did a dangerous thing and what a piece of shit. I'm really grown from it. I'm doing therapy, blah, blah, blah. Like just call out what you did and take some responsibility for it. And I think the fact that he's not taking any responsibility, instead he's like, isn't it so crazy that I was a football player and I didn't even know I was gay? You're like,
Nope.
come on, dude.
No, he doesn't feel guilty. That's why he's not taking responsibility. And you and I even had this conversation before we hit record about feeling guilty. You're supposed to feel guilty, right?
Yes.
There's a reason, and we're not doing it again, whatever it is. We're learning from it. We're not doing it again.
Guilt is actually an important feeling.
Right.
Guilt is a feeling that if you have that feeling, you don't go, oh, no, it's not the same as, and frankly, shame, I think, is very similar as well. Sorry, Brene Brown. I think that there are times where you feel guilt, you feel shame. And if you can process that and learn from it and be better about it and not make those mistakes again, then those were good feelings to have.
Supposed to feel guilty. Yes. He doesn't feel guilty.
It doesn't feel good. It's struggle. It's difficult. You're supposed to have those feelings occasionally. If you don't feel those feelings occasionally, you might be a sociopath.
100%. And I think Colton is right up there because he doesn't feel guilty. And he didn't learn from it, and therefore he's not going to talk about it. Because when you learn from your shame or your guilt, then you can move on and be like, yes, I did that. You own it. Do you have any questions? This is what I learned from it. And then we move on, and that's over. And then it's over, right?
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about it again. But no, we have to talk about it because he won't address it, and he doesn't feel guilty, and he doesn't take responsibility. Ugh.
And if you're going to have a life in the public eye, if you choose a career where you're an influencer, trying to be a TV personality, whatever, you have to address these things. Sorry.
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. I want him to go off the show so bad. I mean, we're not alone with the Colton haters for getting him off. So hopefully he will not be on TV much longer. We'll see.
Yeah. So I'm excited because they're doing this is actually right up your alley this week. It's the haunted houses.
Yeah. Yeah.
You love that.
I do love that.
It's like your favorite. So I think that should be fun. Now we need to talk Beverly Hills because I told you I've been sewing shirts.
Right.
Cleaning.
We doing all of the things that we're expected to do as women.
All the things that we're expected to do
and
as
still
women.
Be sane.
And I can't keep up with Beverly Housewives. So I need you
Thank God
to
for
tell
the
me.
drugs, and the drugs are working. Is that how it goes?
I took the drugs and the drugs are working.
Yes.
Because a year ago,
right,
my brain was working differently.
Yes.
Do you know what TV I did watch?
What?
I watched 3 episodes of Tell Me Lies.
Thank God.
So I still have a lot to get through.
Good.
But
I know you do.
I did watch that.
Okay, good.
For you.
Keep going.
And it is good. It is. So I'm only 3 episodes in,
sure.
So you're way far in the future. I don't know how we're ever going to like the main guy.
Steven.
So yeah, he's got a lot of sexual charisma energy going on, I guess. But everything else about him is terrible.
Yes.
Including his personality.
Yes.
So And then they're like, look, here he is 8 years in the future. And you're like, he needs a haircut. Like, I don't know why we like him.
Yes. Keep watching, bitch. You'll love it.
I'm liking it. I'm liking it so far.
Okay, good.
So at some point I will be
so happy. You just made my day. I'm so happy. Okay. Beverly Hills.
Right.
One of my favorite parts is they open with Queen Jennifer Tilly in bed, eating donuts and a bag of potato chips. You are my spirit animal. And then she has an assistant bring in her more food. Hello. That's my dream.
Is she at home? Or are they in Sedona?
They're still in Sedona. They're all in their bedrooms, eating breakfast, most of them. It was the most fantastic thing I've ever seen. Anyway, so she's eating her donuts and her potato chips. And so they're splitting off again. Today, the day is they're splitting off. They're going on a hike to this Vortex thing that you talked about.
Mm-hmm. Energy Vortex.
And then the other half is going shopping, and Kathy Hilton stays home to go to sleep. So
good for you, Kathy.
It's perfect. So Rachel, Bose, and Dorit go shopping, and everybody else. So Kyle, Jennifer, Sutton, Amanda, and Erica all go hiking. So Sutton has this Jeep tour guide thing, drive them to this hike, and it's almost 2 miles, like 1.5 miles straight up on this mountain that they have to hike up. Like it's and it's 102 degrees outside.
No, thank you. Ugh. How many of them were in full glam for 102 hike?
All of them. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. So they hike up there, and it's amazing and wonderful. And Jennifer Tilly has her crystals, and she's talking to them and pouring water on them. Are you thirsty? Do you want a drink? And it's just great and wonderful. And Amanda is off meditating on her own, and Kyle and Erica are talking about Dorit. So Kyle tells Erica, I had a conversation with Dorit before we left. We went to her house, and Dorit was saying, she doesn't feel supported by me. And Erica's like, dude, you just basically need to stay out of it. Just stay out of it, because I don't want this to ruin your guys' friendship. Right. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't think I'm kind of annoyed with Kyle. I just don't think she really is a good friend to Dorit. She's not a girl's girl with her, because I'd be like, bitch, that guy sucks. I don't care. There's
something really confusing to me about Kyle's approach to this, because Kyle went through going through this divorce. She's going through the separation, and she's hurt by what Mauricio has done. Yeah. She also started it. Yeah. Right? So, but then she's hurt that Mauricio is seeing other women, that he isn't coming back to the house. And then you see Dorit, who's being treated really poorly. Yeah. Obviously. This is not like a surprising thing. And
it's not Kyle and Mauricio amicable at all. It's not happy. Like Kyle and Mauricio.
And there's little kids involved. Mm-hmm. And even she can acknowledge that, like, even my daughters are saying, Dad's going through his hoe phase. And she's like, I'm seeing how it's hurting my kids. Oh my God, look at Dorit's little kids who are dealing with this. Yeah. And Mauricio's making sure that Kyle is taken care of. Yeah, whereas 100%. Dorit's like, I don't know what bill's getting paid next. Right. There's a lot of big differences here. Yeah. And I don't understand how I get, like, this is my friend. Because I think Kyle was friends with Dorit and with PK. Mm-hmm. But when you see your friend go off the deep end like this, if you're close, I don't know how you remain neutral.
Right. You pick a side, man. You always pick the female. You just do. You don't. And if you can't, then you're done with both of them. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, I mean, I'm not saying that men don't deserve support, but if you're two couples, and your couple friends are breaking up, you can't, like, see how she's being treated and go, well, I think if he's also your friend, you go, what the fuck are you doing, friend? Yeah. Like, if we're good, if we're friends, I should be able to tell you this isn't okay. Yeah. And if you're not good enough friends to say this isn't okay, then obviously you should be on her side. Like, I don't understand what the disconnect is. I think that there's people that break up and they figure it out and eventually, like, they work it out and maybe you do remain friends with one or the other. I don't think it's easy to be friends with both if there's a divorce.
God, no.
Or a breakup.
Nope. No.
So, I
No,
don't
we
know.
even see that Kyle called Mauricio right after leaving Dorit's and said, this is what Dorit is saying about PK. And just totally talked about her behind her back. And Mauricio goes, that's not what's going on. And PK is telling me that Dorit is blocking him from seeing his kids. So now Kyle has this idea in her head that Dorit is lying, and it's terrible. I mean, it's super shady on Kyle's part. But Erica, thank God, is like, just step out of it, dude. Stop. Just don't say, I don't want to hear about it anymore. She's really trying to get her to basically shut the fuck up.
It's like she's trying to still win over
Yeah.
Mauricio.
Yeah.
Which is weird. She's like, can I take the man's side in the divorce?
Yeah.
Even mine.
Yeah,
And
it's
you're like,
gross.
what?
It's gross.
What are you doing? It is a very bizarre side for her to take. So she just doesn't believe what Dorit is saying.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't trust Dorit.
Yep. Yeah, because she's telling Mauricio all of this. Anyway, so we get to see that is kind of unseen footage of her.
That's not going to go over well.
Right, talking to Mauricio about Dorit. On the way up, I forgot this part. On the way up the 1.5 mile hike, Jennifer Tilly is being Jennifer Tilly, saying things like, oh, my God, I'm glad I wore my boots, or how much longer do we have? Or if I'm dead, please just drag me up there, right? Just funny little quips like that. And Amanda says to Erica, does she talk like this all the time? When does she ever shut up? And Erica does that confessional look and says, I don't think Amanda knows who Miss Jennifer Tilly is. You little fucking millennial, shut up. Jennifer can basically say what she wants. She did it in her confessional. She didn't say it to Amanda, but thank you. Go, Erica. Because Amanda.
Okay, Erica. Amanda needs to shut the fuck up. However, as a millennial, I know exactly who Jennifer Tilly is.
100%.
I don't want millennials to get grouped into that.
Well, I mean, Amanda.
Jennifer Tilly is a goddess. Oh my God.
Anyway, and
How
so.
Awful.
Yeah.
So Amanda, you say thank you, Jennifer Tilly. You're
Right.
the best.
100%.
What a gift. What a gift that this happens all the time.
That she is in the presence of Simpson money. Like, you are in Jennifer Tilly's presence.
She's
what are
hilarious.
you doing?
And it's coming out constantly. It's just like a constant flow.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Sutton goes off by herself. That's all that we see with the Vortex. So then Rachel, Bose, and Dorit go shopping. And I have to confess something that I don't know if it's because I have such a deep hatred for Amanda, but I really like Rachel, and I'm walking back my hatred from her for the first episode.
Yay!
I really like her. She's growing on me a lot, and I think she's so sweet to all the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I just had to confess that. So the three of them go shopping.
There's no girls girl. There's no, I just have to interject. I love that you love Rachel Zoe. There's
no
girls girl higher than Rachel Zoe. Rachel Zoe made a career out of going, I want everyone to feel as beautiful as possible. I want to find what makes you feel the most beautiful and make it happen. Like she's fantastic. So I'm so excited that you have come around on her. I'm so excited.
I have. So the three of them are so cute and so sweet because Dorit brings up Kyle and says, I just have a hard time talking to her about my divorce. I don't feel like she supports me. And Bose and Rachel are basically validating her and saying, you're right, you need to be a girl's girl. And she's just not doing that. And so while they're shopping, they go to one store. I don't really know what it was, crystals or something. Then they go to a wine tasting, and it was very cute. No, they have this discussion at the wine tasting, and the three of them together are very cute. Like they could be a cute little friend group, those three.
Yay. Okay.
Rachel was very supportive to Dorit. She was like, we should always be on your side. Fuck what he's doing. We don't care about him. And so they were really supportive for her and trying to help her with Kyle and how she's feeling. So everybody decides after they're splitting up, they decide that they're all going to have dinner. So Sutton sets up, she tells everybody, we're all making dinner for ourselves. So I have all these groceries, but you're having to make it. Erica is totally offended. She's like, I don't want to make dinner for myself. Why did you not hire a chef? It's kind of funny. And So you see Kathy in the kitchen making pasta primavera, right? She's chopping up vegetables and
what a mom. What a big
she's
sister.
Very cute. And Erica walks in like a little kid and hikes up over the counter. It's like, what are you doing? And Kathy's like, hey, sweetie, I'm just making some pasta. And they're very cute. And then they cut back to, it says 4 hours earlier, where everybody says, okay, what time is dinner? And Rachel says, dinner's at 7:45. We have 4 hours before dinner. They cut back to Kathy making food, and it's 10 p.m.
What time is it?
10 p.m. at night, 10 o'clock at night. They're just starting dinner at 10, and everybody else is getting glam. Jennifer Tilly's full glam. Bose is getting full glam, like wigs.
What, do they all
and
take
lashes?
naps?
They don't say.
What
they don't
takes
say.
this long?
Dorit walks in at 10 o'clock. Amanda walks in at 10:30. Kyle and Jennifer walk in at 10, almost 11 o'clock, 10:49. And Sutton walks in at 5 after 11. But Amanda, before that, was complaining about Sutton. Like, if I were the hostess, I would not be this late. Why is she not here? We have to sit around and wait for her. Like, she's saying all of this in front of everybody. And Jennifer Tilly, of course, is in the background, like eating a bag of chips, just watching and listening. And it was great. So Sutton walks in.
Is brand new and she's talking. She's so comfortable to talk shit.
Yeah. They show 11:30 and they're still cooking food at 11:30. Sutton just starts to defrost this chicken right at 11:30 at night because Sutton says, I'll make the main dish, this chicken. They cut back to while everybody is getting glam. Amanda goes into Kyle's room and says, I have to tell you something about Sutton. A friend of mine was in Beverly Hills and she ran into this guy. And this guy said that if you ever want all the tea on Sutton, just give me a call. We find out this guy was Avi and then tells Amanda's friend, tell Amanda, call me and she should hire me. That will really piss off Sutton. And Kyle is like, oh God. And Amanda says, should I tell Sutton? What do I do? And I think Kyle says, yeah, you should tell her. So they're all right in the kitchen, making food. Sutton comes down, starts making the chicken. This is after Amanda had complained. They all go outside. Everybody but Rachel, Erica, and Bose, and maybe, yeah. Anyway, most of them go outside to talk. And Sutton is there, and Amanda and Kyle are there. Somebody else is there. Kathy is there. Anyway, and so Amanda says, Sutton, I have to tell you something. Did you have like an assistant named like Audie or Ari or
did she not
something?
Watch the show?
Super disrespectful. She knows what this guy's name is. She's just being a brat. And Sutton goes, his name is Avi. And Amanda says, well, yeah. So a friend of mine said that she met him and he said that I should hire him because that would really piss you off and that I should call him because he has all the tea on you. And then just is like waiting for her. It was really gross.
Respond.
Right.
What?
And Sutton goes, you should hire him. I don't care. Hire him. I mean, instantaneously. You should hire him. I don't care. And Amanda's like,
that's cold bitch. Good for your Sutton.
But that doesn't upset you. Like she's totally like getting in there. It's really gross. And Sutton's like, I don't really care. You know what? I don't care what he does. You can hire him. And Amanda's like, I'm fully staffed. I don't need him. And so then the others walk in and I think it's Erica, Bose, Rachel. Anyway, Dorit, they walk in and they're like, what's going on? Because Sutton's talking about Avi. So Amanda says the story and they're asking Sutton about it. How do you feel? What do you think? And she's like, I don't think he said that. If it was him, I don't think he said that. And Kathy goes, I don't think he said that either. That doesn't sound like him.
Yeah, that doesn't seem like him. It didn't seem like him.
Sound like him. And they're like, okay, are you okay? Are you going to be okay? She's like, no, I'm not okay. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I just don't believe that was him. I don't want to bring it up. I don't know why everybody's trying to bring it up. So 10 after 12. It's midnight. It's after midnight. They all finally sit down at the table to eat. It is ridiculously late. I mean, I can't even. They show 10:48. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning and they're still eating at the table. Anyway, so they stay up and, have this dinner, and it's kind of like this potluck, basically. It's really pretty. So then they show the next morning. Everybody's getting up. Bose doesn't feel well because she's taken those hormone injections, those fertility injections. So she's in bed, and everybody goes downstairs to make coffee. And Sutton is saying that Jennifer that night had spilled the tea about what Amanda said about her being late, and was all snarky about why isn't our host here. And so Sutton gets really pissed off at Amanda, and they show kind of an unseen footage where, like, an hour before, Sutton looks at Amanda and says, "Hey, Missy, doesn't matter what time I show up. You're going to wait for me, and I'll show up when I show up. And guess what? Who cares what time I show up, because we're on vacation." And, like,
also,
totally.
didn't Sutton rent all of the villas?
Yes. Paid for everything. Paid for everything. So puts
Except for
Amanda
a
in a
chef.
place. Yeah. And so after that, everybody's kind of gotten together, and Amanda tells Rachel and Dorit that she thinks Sutton's mad at her because of the whole "Hey, Missy" comment. And they're like, well, yeah, probably. And then Rachel says, I have this really good friend who's a life coach. And they shoot over to Amanda, and she's just like, anyway, she says, I have this really good friend who's a life coach. And she said, I need to write down 30 things about the next man that I want in my life so I can manifest him. And she's really happy. And it's kind of this cute, loving, genuine moment. And Amanda,
exactly what you should be talking about on Real Housewives. That's exactly what I want. That's the content on these shows. Sorry.
Right. And Amanda
Love her.
jumps in
Love
and
her.
says, oh, I manifested Eddie. I did that with my husband. Dorit and Rachel just kind of look over at her. And Amanda says, when I was 13, I manifested that I would meet and marry and fall in love with an Abercrombie model. And my husband says, do you remember when I posed for that picture outside of an Abercrombie? And they show this, like, teenage picture of her husband. And she's like, see, I manifested it because he has a picture outside of an Abercrombie store. And I saw online, everybody today was like, does everybody know the difference between an Abercrombie model and maybe an employee who's taking a picture outside of the store? And it's just really funny because they're totally burning on Amanda. So she does her, I'm better than you, or I've done that, like she's been doing this whole entire time. So then they all go shopping this time, and they all go to this beautiful outside strip mall that reminded me of the strip mall in Maui. It's huge. It's gorgeous. And there's all these different stores, but it's this outside mall. It's just stunning. Anyway, it's stunning. And Amanda is just shitting on the entire thing. The producer asks her in her confessional, what's the Sedona shopping scene like? And Amanda goes, there's a Sedona shopping scene. I'd rather stay home in bed. And was really just being a bitch. But everybody is going to different kinds of shops. Like Rachel Zoe goes into a clothing store and spends like $2,000 on this cardigan. And it's beautiful. And they go into a jewelry shop, and Kyle spends God only knows. They don't tell us how much money on this turquoise necklace, bracelet, ring, earring combination. Stunning.
Shop. What is it called? Retail therapy.
Yeah. Everybody's spending thousands and thousands of dollars. And I love that they show us that they're spending all this money. So everybody has a really good time shopping except Amanda, who's pouting. And there's this one point where Amanda and Rachel want to go get a coffee. So they walk into this coffee shop, and Amanda says, do you have ceremonial grade matcha? And everybody, even the person behind the counter, goes, I don't, what are you talking about? And Rachel goes, what do you mean ceremonial grade? What are you even talking about? So you get the idea that Amanda is trying to present.
I only drink the best matcha.
Like, it's just gross. And Rachel's like, why don't you just reset and get almond milk or something? It's really funny and cute. Then,
so
yeah.
we don't think Amanda's long for this show. Like,
I hope not.
This is the end for her.
I hope not. She's just gross. And everybody has had it. Like, every single person is rolling their eyes at her. So Sutton had set up a dinner. This is their last night there. She sets up a dinner. Everybody says, okay, now we're all going to dinner. And thank God they're all together. So they are on time at this restaurant.
Even Dorit?
Right. Yes. Because they're all in the same car. They all go to this restaurant.
Okay.
The restaurant is at an airport. Like, it's on an airport. It is the funniest, stinkiest, stupidest little cafe, like grill thing I have ever seen in my life. Like, it's trashy, like I would go to because I'm trash. And
Sedona is so nice.
I know,
and so fancy and so pretty. So just a full accident?
I don't know, but Sutton goes, why wouldn't you want to have dinner at an airport? Many, many people love to have dinner at an airport. And the producer goes, what people, Sutton? She goes, flight attendants? I don't know. And she laughs. It's just funny. It's funny. And then Erica in her confessional goes, if this is what we're going to get from Sutton Brown, like, it's hot, I have to make my own food, I have to eat in an airport, I want Sutton Strack back because she was, more fabulous and we got to do more fun things. And it's really funny. So they all sit down at the table and Sutton and Jennifer are sitting next to each other and Amanda's sitting across from Sutton and confronts Sutton about her "Hey Missy" attitude in the morning. And so Amanda says, I feel like you were kind of mad at me this morning when you said the "Hey Missy" thing to me. Were you mad at me about what I said? And Sutton looks at her and goes,
that seemed very direct.
Yeah. And Sutton says, you'll know it when I'm mad at you. So no, I wasn't mad at you. And I'm like, oh God, here it goes. And Amanda pokes again. She's like, are you sure? Because they did say that stuff about Avi. So you sure it wasn't about your assistant? Because there's all that stuff, right?
She's not good at this. She's not.
No. And Sutton unleashes. She's like, I don't want to talk about it again. I'm tired of talking about it. It happened between he and I. We don't have a relationship anymore. I'm tired of trying to explain it. I'm not going to explain it. I want everybody to shut up. And at the end of it, she's like, is that crystal to everybody? And Rachel's like holding her glass. She's like, crystal clear. Everybody is just mortified because Sutton has lost her goddamn mind. And Jennifer,
that reactive abuse.
Yes.
That is she got pushed. She got poked until.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody's kind of rolling their eyes like, oh God, okay. Jennifer opens her mouth to say something like, Sutton, we were just trying to. Sutton cuts her off and is like, shut up, Jennifer. Just shut up. Don't speak. And Jennifer gets really upset. Kyle inadvertently, and like has nothing to do with anything. She's like, does anybody know where the bathroom is? Jennifer's like, I think it's over there. I'm going to go with you. So she gets up and talks to Kyle aside and says, Sutton's been snapping at me and it's, over and over and over. And so they show a little montage of every time Sutton keeps snapping at Jennifer when Jennifer's just kind of being jovial and making jokes and is really funny. And Jennifer's like, it's really hurting my feelings. I'm trying to be a friend to her. And I wasn't even going to say anything about Avi. She snapped at me in front of everybody. And then Jennifer says, I think this is why Garcelle left, is because it's always about Sutton. And Kyle's like, oh, okay. So then they get up and go back to the table. And Amanda is just pouting. Amanda has got this face on her.
Good.
Right. Like she has just been caned down by her parents. Right. Her head is tilted down. Her eyes are looking through the top of her eyelids. And it's just gross. It's just really gross. And Kyle looks over at her and says, are you okay? And Amanda's like, yeah, I'm fine, I guess. And it's just pouty and really just disgusting to watch. And Kyle, again, I don't like when Kyle kind of starts stuff that maybe shouldn't. Maybe
that's
really
why she's been on there from the beginning.
Maybe shouldn't be started.
OG.
Yeah, and so Amanda's like, no, I'm fine. And Sutton starts to cry, and Erica looks at her.
The table?
Yeah, Erica looks at Sutton and goes,
Ugh.
look, we know you're trying to work on yourself. We know that you're going through a really hard time. We know that you've, went through this annulment with your husband and, your mom's, all these things that are going on. We know you're really, really trying, Sutton. We're not trying to upset you when we ask about Avi. It was really good. Erica was really good. And then Erica goes, Amanda, she says, Amanda, it maybe shouldn't have, asked you or told you or said those things about Avi and, that interaction. Erica says, but it did come off kind of gossipy. And Amanda's like, she perks right up and makes this like scowl face. And Sutton's just, again, I just don't want to talk about it. I've lost a lot of people in my life and he's just another one and it really hurts me and I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to bring it up. And they're all kind of rallying around her to try to make her feel better and stop cry. So it was really cute and really sweet. At the end, everybody was good. And then they just say, thank God we're flying back tomorrow. And that was just kind of end. So the end of the show was, they're at the dinner table but
wow.
I mean,
what a difference from last season where it was people were not going to be on Team Sutton. And it's like, okay, they're giving her a little bit of grace. Is it because she took them on vacation? Maybe. Well, but she didn't hire a chef and then she took them to an airport restaurant and they're still being nice to her.
I know.
So
it was just great.
I think there's something to be said. Okay. The thing about gossip is you have to come at it. If you're going to bring it to the table, you need to know the energy that you're bringing it with and how, because what she's saying could be like fun, juicy gossip, which I think she thought she was going to do. But she doesn't know these women well enough. And that is actually gossip that is incredibly painful for Sutton.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, that's too touchy a subject.
Yeah.
If I came in and I was like, you are not going to believe who is talking shit about you, and it was somebody that you don't give a shit about.
Yeah.
Then it would be,
oh
my God. And we would chat about it and it would be fun and hilarious. If this is a relationship that meant a lot to Sutton, which I think everyone that watched this was surprised to see that she and Avi, even though there were times that they would sit there and but they seem to have a very close, intimate friendship. The thing about friendships with your employer, and everything turns gray when you're no longer employed by them, it can get really, really messy and bad. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever been in one of those situations.
I have. And even, I forgot to say that Jennifer Tilly even said in her confessional, she said, you know what? At first, when I found out that Sutton had let go of Avi, she goes, I thought it was temporary. She goes, nobody knows this, but I actually had a discussion with Avi afterwards. I have talked to him since. And Avi told me when Sutton let him go, he thought it was temporary. And Jennifer goes, I feel so bad because none of this sounds like something he would do because he loved her so much and they had this fun, quirky relationship. Yes, it was a boss and an employee relationship, but they had this relationship that meant something to the both of them. And Jennifer goes, it was sad. I was sad for him, sad for her. And for Amanda to be so gross and be like, this is what I heard. What do you think? What are you going to do? Are you sure you're not going to get mad? Maybe you should get mad. Like, it's just gross. It feels icky.
She's out of her depth here. She really is. And to come into it like that, she's dense. If she hasn't watched the show, she's shouldn't have done that. Everyone should have learned from Bronwyn.
Yeah.
You watch the show before you come on. Not as a fan. You can't be a fan and be on the show.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to watch the show and know the history.
Yeah.
I think I only have one boss that I've ever had that I still keep in touch with, that I have good rapport with.
Mm-hmm.
Because the problem is, we talked about this earlier, I have a really hard time with I'm either completely open and have an intense close relationship with you, or I'm totally closed off. And the worst employee I ever was is the boss that I'm still on good terms with. Isn't that weird?
Mm-hmm.
That's not true. I'm on pretty good terms with Nicola, who is the head chef at Pure Pasty in Vienna, Virginia, and check it out. But actually, Henry, my son, is kind of named after the boss that I was the shittiest employee of.
Okay.
She and her husband, I really like them in their last name.
Yeah, like that's so hard.
Henry.
Like we see all these assistant, right, relationships like Tom Sandoval and Anne, you know, or Avi and Sutton, or I'm trying to think of the other ones. Anyway, just stuff like that. You know, that assistant, or Bose and her assistant, what's his name? Nick? I can't remember. The cute little kid that bedazzles her mirror, you know.
That's like the whole premise of the Rachel Zoe project.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of, this isn't working the way it's too enmeshed. My biggest fallout was also like the best I ever did in my baking career. And we got way too close.
Mm-hmm.
And the lines were too blurred. And then when we tried to like separate them again, too many hard feelings.
Yeah, I don't know how celebrities do that with these assistants, these personal assistants that literally do everything for them and know everything about them. You know, I was watching Jennifer Lawrence on a podcast this week, and she was talking about her assistant who she loves, who's 20. She said she was 23 years old. And Jennifer said that her assistant was getting her looks for her, like was in her closet getting clothes out, and her assistant pulled out some oh my gosh, the leggings, the jeans, oh my gosh, what the fuck are they called, the you know what I'm talking about,
jeggings?
Yeah. Anyway, and her assistant was so young, she's like, my God, I can't believe you have these. Are these vintage? And Jennifer Lawrence is not that old. And she's like,
she and I
almost died. I almost died a death because my 23-year-old really good friend assistant pulled out these jeans and was like, asked me if they're vintage or not. Oh my God. It was so funny to listen to her talk about that. But I don't know how they have these relationships, these celebrities.
Jennifer Lawrence is 35 years old. I'm 5 years older than Jennifer Lawrence.
Right. Anyway. Yeah. So ask if these jeggings were vintage. Oh my God. So funny.
God.
I love that.
I love Jennifer Lawrence in interviews.
I do too. Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, she's great. Okay, well, I am going to catch up with Housewives.
Okay.
I am going to.
You should still watch it. Still worth it. Do it.
I have to because I just need to see Jennifer Tilly with donuts. Jennifer Tilly with donuts and chips. I'm going to make, I think, for my 40th birthday, I am going to Pigeon Forge. And we're going to spend a week there. And I literally, while you were talking about it, decided I'm going to make Matt take a picture of me, like in bed in our hotel room in Pigeon Forge with donuts. Because donuts are my birthday thing. I eat donuts all the time, but specifically I have to have a donut on my birthday. So I'm going to have donuts and potato chips in bed.
Unbelievable. You should. It's so great.
Oh my God. I love Jennifer Tilly.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, and do you know who else I love? I love you.
I love you even more. And next week we have, thank God, the last part of the reunion. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So what's left to talk about? We've talked about the plane. We've talked about Britani. We've talked about
We got to talk about Bronwyn.
Bronwyn and Todd. That's right. I forgot.
Got to do.
I do want to say one thing about Bronwyn, and you know how much I hate her. You know how much I hate her. This is what I've discovered and watched and realized about her. She does this acting. I don't even know what to call it. But when she is doing this, I want everybody to like me. I'm coming off as insecure. Look how great I am. Her voice is like 1,000 times higher in octave. My gosh, I don't know what you're talking about. It's so soft and so raspy. And what do you mean? I've never done any of those things. But then when she's really pissed off at you, it goes really low.
It gets really low.
And it gets really mean and masculine and nasty. I just want you to maybe think about that when we're watching it. Because I guess this third part might be about her.
Wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'll watch her extra closely for that.
Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong. I think there's a voice that she has when she's putting on a show.
Yeah.
And she just wants you to hear her out and She gets like very breathy but also very nasally, and it's high. And then there's also the like, yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I'll own up to it. I mean, that's what I did. I admit that I said that.
I really need to work on that. And
God.
Yeah. And then when she's like, well, actually.
Yeah.
No, I see her performance. Mm-hmm. I see her doing a thing. And I think I enjoy her, like, when she's trying to be, like, cool. And she does this, like, weird, almost like Katharine Hepburn impression. She's like, well, actually.
Yeah.
The thing that it's actually about. And you're like, what is that accent?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just enjoy it. And I don't think she hasn't crossed the Britani lines for me of badness. She hasn't crossed the Heather lines for me. And here's the thing, Whitney, after today and the information that I know, I'm kind of like doing shit online outside of the show to get shit for the show makes me exhausted and uninterested.
Yeah.
If you're making shit up, I can't. And this cognitive dissonance that's happening where it's like, that's a lie, that never happened. Yes, this absolutely happened and you said blah, blah, blah. No, it didn't. I shouldn't have to try and figure out who's lying.
Yeah.
I'm done with that. I don't want to figure out who's lying anymore.
I agree.
I can't do it because we can't move forward at this point. Like, there's no way to move this show forward.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, unless they do a full reset, I think.
I mean,
not a full reset or like a serious cast shakeup.
Yeah. Thinking about Beverly Hills, when we had something even remotely like this was with Kyle and Lisa Vanderpump. And Lisa Vanderpump immediately was not on the show anymore. Immediately was gone. And like, that is what they did to reset it or whatever, however you want to label it. Like, I'm not saying it was the same, but anything in the realm of it being similar, Lisa left.
That was also a different time.
Sure.
That was, again, I'm going to talk about Love It or Leave It is a great podcast. And he's doing that thing about how politics and reality TV have kind of evolved together. That was back in the day. Yeah. Where a politician would have his career ruined by going, Gah! Remember that guy?
Yes.
Yeah. And then he had to step down because he made a weird noise.
Yeah.
Remember that? Weren't those the days?
Weren't
those the days?
Now we're back to, we have started with the world burning and we're ending with the world burning. Full circle.
You know what? It was a really nice 2 hours and 17 minutes to go somewhere else. I'm sorry.
You're welcome, everybody. Oh, Christ.
All right. We love you. What a good episode.
Yeah. We gotta go.
All right. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.